Welcome, everyone, to episode number 9 of our podcast, Motivate to Move. I am John Legroff.
And I'm Diane Trites.
Diane, every week we get together and we do this podcast, and I just got to say, it's been a pleasure. I'm so glad that you're with me on this little journey of mine. Thanks for accepting and coming along, and we're having a great time, aren't we?
Oh, John, I'm enjoying this as much as you are. I had no idea this was going to be so enjoyable. I love talking to these people.
So do I. And I mean, the whole idea was to try and find out what makes people do what they do, or at least that was part of it. We've had quite a few different aspects of it, and a lot of people saying different things. And I think we should just keep on going and see what other people have to say. But today, as I'm sure everybody wants to know, we have Shawna Allaby back. She's just such a positive influence on everyone that we had to have her back. Diane, don't you agree?
Oh, I think so. She is such a Spitfire.
The sparkling Spitfire Shawna. It's alliteration at its finest. Shawna Allaby, thank you so much for coming back. We are very happy you agreed to come back here and have some laughs with us, have some chats with us, and just tell us what's going on. Thanks for joining us again.
Thanks for having me back, guys. I wish you guys could see my face right now because it's literally ear to ear grin because, this is just so exciting, and you two are a ball to chat with on here.
And you know what you need to do, Shawna? You need to take a selfie right now at this moment to share with all of your followers.
Oh, that's a great idea, Diane.
Guess what? If you check Facebook, it's already up on the
Are you kidding?
Hey, all right. That's fantastic.
Man, I've got to check this out.
Great minds think alike.
Oh, my.
Now, Diane, are you able to use that on our Facebook
Oh,
page?
for sure. Easy to peasy.
Awesome.
With Shawna's permission, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course. We would not do anything without Shawna's permission because I know what happens. If you do something without her permission, it's not very good. And...
Hey. You guys are going to make me sound like one big brute.
No.
No, it's all in good fun.
Yeah, it's all in good fun, and we're just glad that you're back and that we're having fun and chatting. And so I just want to ask you, since you were on last time, now what would that be, about 5 weeks ago?
Yeah,
or so?
4 or 5 weeks ago, I think it was.
What have you been up to? You might as well give us, tell us what you've been up to.
It's been a busy few weeks. I don't even know what day it is half the time, to be honest. I've been working between the machine shop and the farm and the home farm. I've been training with running and my kickboxing, a bit of like home workouts here and there too, and just socializing with family and friends when I get a chance is pretty much what I've been doing. Like main topics, I guess.
Sweet
Indeed. And Shawna, you and I actually got to meet a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, you got to see me at the time trial.
Yes, at one of the time trials that we talked about on the last episode. Here in Moncton, it was a 10K, no, 10.7. 10.7K, point to point, and the finish line was at the Chateau Moncton, the little bridge that goes across Halls Creek there. And so I'm not in a position right now where I can race 10 kilometers, but I went out just to see everyone in at the finish line, and I saw Shawna come across the line. I went out a little ways to meet her, a couple of minutes, and then had the honor of running with her the last 100 meters or so.
Oh no, it was like the last 500 meters, Diane.
All right, 500 meters.
Don't sell yourself short.
Was it that far? Was it really that far?
Yeah, there was probably about 500 meters left.
Okay, so I had the pleasure of running behind Shawna, bringing her in, which was a real treat for me because I'm not running fast these days and I'm not racing. So just picking up that pace for a few minutes, it felt awesome. It felt great.
I really appreciated you doing that. It was great because that last kilometer and a half, it was brutal. And I really needed that pickup.
It was hot that day.
It was hot, and I haven't been doing much long distance this year because of COVID, and I just been focusing on speed training. So that long distance was hard.
And I think the shorter distances are your strength, aren't they?
I'm finding that they have become my new strength. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is it possible that you might not really want to run more than 10K anytime
Oh
in the
no,
near
I,
future?
I I plan on running more than that at some point. My goal list has a sub 2 hour or half marathon on there, and also I want to do a full marathon at some point in my life.
Woohoo!
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah,
do you have a time frame for those goals, or is it just something abstract right now?
I think right now it's just abstract wise for the full marathon because I have no idea what my capabilities are
Mm-hmm.
for it because I haven't. The longest I've ever ran is 23K. And I was on a training run and it was a hilly route and I thought I was going to die by the end of it. So I don't know what my time would be for that.
So you ran 23 kilometers on a training run.
Yes.
What were you training for at the time?
It was last year, so 2019, and I think it was like around this time last year, maybe a little, like a couple weeks earlier. And me and Summer, one of the Sussex sisters that we trained together, that Sunday I had a 20K run on my training plan, and hers was a 23 because I was training for the half marathon for PEI while Summer was training for the full.
Okay.
She met me that morning bright and early in Sussex, and we ran through the town of Sussex and the outskirts and came back to where we started. And I said, well, since you have 23 and I have 20, I may as well keep on going to make sure you keep on going. So I ran 23K that day.
Oh, why not? Why not? And you were training for a half marathon. So,
Yeah,
wow.
I was training for half. So you might as well be an overachiever.
You did an over distance.
Yeah.
So how did that feel? Your longest distance, how did it feel?
It was brutal. We started at like probably 6:30 in the morning, I think it was, maybe 7, and
Hmm.
it was warm that day, and we hit. I don't know if you guys have run in Sussex at all. Up on the outskirts, there's a place called Roachville, and it's literally 3K of hills, up and down, up
Oh
and
my
down,
goodness.
and that was near like the last probably quarter of the run was where the hills were, and
Hmm.
it did me in for the rest of the run, but we finished in a decent time too. For I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember thinking that if I can handle this distance and this time, I am going to get my goal for the October.
Hmm.
Right. And did you run that half marathon in October?
Oh yes, we went over. There's 4 of us that went in one vehicle going over. My boyfriend at the time, he drove me, Sasha, and Summer. He was crazy enough to put up with us all for the weekend. 3 crazy runners. We went over for the weekend. I ran the half that Sunday morning, and Summer ran the full. It was her first ever full.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was awesome to see. Well, actually, for once, I got to help her come across the finish line instead of
Oh,
vice versa.
and it's a great feeling to do that with a runner,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, well, usually she finishes ahead of me, but since I was done my half, I knew what time she was aiming to come across,
Hmm.
and she didn't come across at that point, so I went looking for her and then ran. I think I met her at like the last 2K left and came across the line with her.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
but yes, John, I ran that half, and when I went to that race, my goal was to get it in 2 hours and 10 minutes
Uh-huh.
because that May I had ran
And
Fredericton in 2:14 and I wanted a 2:10.
Right. You wanted to beat it. Yeah.
I wanted to get that 2:10, and so I trained all summer for it. I came across that finish line in PEI with a 2:07 and change.
Yeah. And that's a much harder course, too.
That
I can
is
tell you
the
that.
last little bit is 3 big hills back to back.
I wish we would have known that you were there because I was there as well.
yeah, you did the full marathon, didn't you, John?
I love that run in PEI. It's my favorite race. That run is beautiful. I would take that every day of the week.
I loved it, but I have now decided I am never trusting those pace bunnies ever again. No,
Oh.
no, I'm not trusting them.
And what did you think of that hill at the end, University Avenue?
Which hill? There was 3 hills.
Oh, the last.
The first one's the worst.
Yeah, because you get to the top and you're like, oh, there's 2 more to go.
I struggled on the last one.
Did you?
Big time, big time.
I remember, I think it was the last hill. I ended up walking the last, like, probably, I want to say fifth of the hill, like, to the top. And I can't remember his name, but he's a runner from St. John here.
Mhm.
And I think it was Scott. He came flying by me, and he was doing the full, and he hollered at me saying to get going, and I was like, man, if he's flying at that speed after doing a full, I can handle the last little bit for the half. So I picked up speed and kept on going.
There's a certain camaraderie amongst with runners. There just is. I mean,
Yeah.
people can say there isn't or that there shouldn't be, but there is. I mean, I've seen it. You've seen it, and you and your friends deal with that too. You go out of your way to help each other, right?
Yeah, oh gosh, yes. We do what we need to do to make sure each of us get across that finish line. Because if you step up to that start line, you are to cross that finish line.
And I don't know about you, but every time I go to the start line, even now, I get nervous.
Really?
Every time. Yep. Every time.
Well, it makes sense because I know with kickboxing, when we get in the go to do sparring in the ring, one of the coach Tony told me one day, he's like, if you are not nervous stepping foot in that ring, even just to practice, you are not normal. Like, you need to be nervous because it's a healthy thing for your body.
It's adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
It's adrenaline, but I think too, if you're not, well, I mean, everybody's different. But for me, I would think that if I'm not a little bit nervous, then maybe I don't care enough, or maybe I'm concerned that I didn't train enough, or, maybe I kind of give up, or
That, or it could be the flip side of that, and you are overconfident and you're just going to make yourself frustrated in the end if you don't do well.
yeah, confidence is great, but there's
a
I believe there's
borderline.
such a thing as overconfidence. Yeah, you can really screw yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done it. So
Yeah.
I've been overconfident and screwed up. Started out too fast, ran too hard.
Same.
But listen, you did 23K.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you can do 23K, it is certainly possible to do 42. In fact, not only is it possible, it's probably more likely probable. And with your determination, I know you could do it. But the problem is you can't really train for speed and train for marathons.
Exactly.
It's really tough to do both.
At the same time. I
yeah,
agree.
it's really hard.
Pick one or the other, and then get your speed, and then once you've got your speed where you want it, then I would suggest you start working on your endurance.
I think it's my endurance and my mentality. I need to strengthen that brain that's up in that head there somewhere.
Well, I believe that the marathon is a lot of it is a head game, and then the rest of it is the training. I mean, obviously you have to train.
It's the training, and I also think it's the support system too. When you think, John?
Yeah, support system has a lot to do with it as well. If you have no support system at all,
Yeah,
or negative support system, it's really, really tough.
it is. It is very tough, and I've dealt with that personally, and it's not always easy to overcome. But then you also gotta prove them wrong.
Right. And training for a marathon is life changing. It is a commitment. You have to change the way you eat and the way you think, and your daily routine is impacted by your training. So you really have to have that support from from your home, from your workplace. You just need it from everybody.
So when you say you gotta change the way you eat, you can't have chocolate chip cookies anymore?
Well, you can. It depends on.
I would say you can. Just maybe not as many as often. But.
So 2 instead of like 6.
Yeah. Like 2 weeks usually before a marathon, I try to actually lose a couple of pounds, just a couple of pounds. It's probably more psychological than anything. Like, really, what the hell is a couple of pounds going to do? But I always think of it, hey, it's, it's 40,000 steps, and a couple of pounds, 40,000 steps, maybe that makes a difference, right?
Only 40,000 steps.
It does make a difference. And I find for me, personally, my body responds better when I'm feeding it better fuel. But that's just me, right?
Well, you burn for energy what you eat. So if you eat chocolate chip cookies all the time, then that means you're burning all that sugar all the time for energy. And that's a net loss because you're not just burning all that sugar, you're burning whatever else you need in order to make that sugar as energy.
Yes.
So you have to replace all that, which means you're eating more and you're eating different food. Anyway, it's not very efficient.
No. Exactly. That's the word I was looking for, efficient.
I might have to come to you guys when it's time to start training for the
Hey,
marathon.
we're here for you, baby. We're here for
Hey, if I could help you with any one thing, anything, I would be more than happy to. Just remember, though, I'm still a novice myself. Sometimes the stuff I believe may not actually be accurate.
Man, if you've already crossed how many finish lines for a full marathon, John?
I've done 17 timed marathons. Yeah.
So you are not a novice anymore for marathon cycling.
I still feel like it, though.
No, I would say you're not a novice.
But I do want to ask a few questions now, Shawna. So
I'm all ears.
Excellent. Now, have you noticed more people out training, running, or working out now that there's been some of these restrictions have been lifted? Do you notice more of that in Sussex or where you live? Is there just more people out and about training and working out?
Well, when the restrictions were put in place during COVID, like the early stages, I found I noticed so many more people out walking, running, jogging, biking. It was awesome to see, and I'm still seeing that same amount. It's almost like they finally clued in that these habits are good things to have, and they're going with it.
So there is something actually positive coming out of all this hoopla.
Yeah, surprisingly, because this has been a long haul with this crazy COVID-19.
Indeed, it has.
And I'm afraid it's going to be longer yet. So
we
we've got to kind of get back to some sort of normalcy, right?
What's normal? We don't know normal anymore.
It's true. So last time we spoke, you talked about your trainer, Paul. Now, do you still talk to Paul?
Oh, gosh, yes. We talk daily, if not every other day.
So how have your time trials been with him lately? And with your groups? And have you named any more trials lately after Paul? Like, have you given them any, yeah, Paul, no way, I'm going to get you this time? Or have you done any of that?
I haven't really come up with any clever new names recently, I guess.
He's probably very happy about that.
Probably, yes. Since we talked last, I think the last one then was that 4.6K where I was able to keep everybody behind me.
Right, yeah.
So we've done 2 more since then. We've done that 10.7K that Diane.
Right, the one where Diane was at.
Yeah, and I was so thankful for that, Diane. You have no idea. You and Sasha pulled me in.
I enjoyed that.
That's good because I enjoyed finally meeting you in person. And the other one that we did was just last weekend, and it was my first ever cross-country route. And we used a course up at the University of Moncton on the campus itself, and it was all grass and up and down a hill. Literally, you were just up and down the same hill, just different directions.
So it's hill repeats on the grass.
Pretty much. And I've never raced on grass and never really raced in a spot where you have to duck to get under a tree branch or swerve around roots.
Should go to Fundy sometime.
It's on my bucket list, John. Don't worry about that one.
That's a great bucket list one.
Yeah, it is.
We had to do 4 laps of the same course at 1,250 meters each lap to make 5K. And we started pursuit style again. So slowest runner, which would be me, started first. And then so many minutes after I started, different people started. We talked about last time, it was the point of it is for everybody to be able to finish at the same time or roughly the same time.
Right.
So I'm not really sure how it happened because I don't remember seeing them pass me more than once. But the little guy, Sean Blizzard, he came in first. And then Paul, coach, he came in second. And I came in third with Marcel and Phil behind me. So I was in the middle of the pack this time. It was pretty cool.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good because it was a 5K on grass, and like Coach told me right before we started, I'm really bad for looking at my watch during each kilometer to make sure I'm at a certain pace, and a time. This time, I can literally count on one hand how many times I actually looked at my pace while running that day. Because Paul said, he's like, it's not about how fast you're going to go. It's about your effort. You can't wear yourself out right off the bat going up that hill.
And to run by feel, right?
Yes, the run by feel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just going to interject with a quick little story here.
Yeah.
I'll just let you know, I ran a half marathon in Halifax a few years ago now, and it was my fastest half marathon I ever ran. That day, I was getting closer to the finish line. I was feeling so tired. I'm like, man, why am I so tired? And people were passing me. I couldn't keep up with them anymore. Yeah. I crossed the finish line, and then I realized why. It was my fastest half marathon I had ever run.
Oh, my goodness.
I forgot my watch that day when I drove to Halifax. So I didn't have a watch at all. Mm-hmm. And without the watch, without looking at it, I ended up running the fastest half marathon I'd ever run.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So it just goes to show you, yes, I was going a little too fast because the last couple of kilometers I had slowed down enough that other people were passing me.
Yeah.
But I was still going fast enough that I beat my other time by a few minutes, so without a watch. So it just goes to show you, sometimes the watch can play a mind game on you.
It definitely is.
Don't be a slave to the Garmin, right?
No.
Yeah, and we all say it, but how many of us actually do it?
I know. Sometimes when I'm out for a run, just a training run, I'll just turn my Garmin around so it's on the back side of my wrist, so I can't keep looking at it. And it's still recording my run and my pace, but I'm not looking at it every 2 or 3 minutes.
Right. Well, I seldom look at my watch, except for when I'm running the marathon. I'm trying to keep a certain pace, and I have to keep an eye on it every couple kilometers. But other than that, half marathons, I generally don't look at it much.
It is a good tool to have.
Sure. When you don't have it on at all, you can't look at it at all, so it doesn't matter then.
Right.
Yeah, see, I'm such a number person when it comes to that. I hate math in general, but when it comes to running, I'm constantly doing numbers in my head.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I am a math person, but I try not to think about it too much when I'm running. But when I'm doing the marathons, all bets are off. Lord knows what I'm doing there. What's going on? Oh, yeah.
I'm so horrible for being like a racehorse and starting way too fast out the start line. And then I burn out a lot of the times. So I really try to focus on my pace because of that.
See, that just goes to show you, everybody's a little bit different. You generally start out too fast. Now, I used to do that. I don't do that as much anymore now.
Because you've learned the hard way.
Yeah, I've learned the hard way, but everybody's a little bit different. Maybe some people always do that. Maybe some people never do that. I mean, everybody's a little different. So we just got to kind of learn from each other and do the best we can.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, Shawna, you love what you do. And so I'm just wondering, like, do you ever have bad days where things at work don't go quite the way you want them to, or you just don't feel like exercising when you come home and you're just having a blah day?
Oh my gosh, yes.
How do you overcome that?
It's come with a lot of practice, a lot of struggle. There's some days, literally, if I'm smiling, it could be plastered on my face because I'm trying to smile. 90% of the time, it's a genuine smile. But I know what it's like to walk down the street and not have anything to smile about, and then all of a sudden, someone smile at you that you don't even know, and that almost makes you smile on perfectly.
Mm-hmm. I try to do that when I'm out for a walk or a run. I try to smile and greet everyone that I see with a good morning and a smile, because
exactly.
you just never know when that smile could be the only one they see all day.
Exactly. And I've been in that person's shoes before because, well, I'm not scared to talk about it or mention it, but I do struggle with depression and anxiety. So it's the old me struggled big time, and overcoming that is a really important thing for me. So I want to smile. I want to be the reason why someone smiles at least once that day, even if it's a complete stranger off the street.
Mm-hmm. And you have a great smile. It's contagious.
It's very expensive smile, so I hope it's
nice. Well, it was worth every penny, okay? You're a great person, and we just love having you here with us.
Oh, I'm enjoying this so much. It's kind of neat to be asked to do this not once but twice.
I would have had you on like the next day after we had you the first time, but we had other things that we had to work on,
Oh, I know,
unfortunately.
Well, it's been a busy month for us since I last talked to you guys.
Yeah, well, like I said, this is episode number 9, and we're putting out
Exactly.
one a week. So, we're just keep on rocking out the content, and hopefully somebody out there picks it up and likes what they hear and gets motivated by it. That's the whole point of it. So,
Exactly. And to answer like some of your question, Diane, on like the days at work and not having good days occasionally, it does happen just like anybody else would. I've had days where I've been in the shop by myself for a few minutes, something go wrong. So I will probably end up chucking something that's not breakable, and then I go on my day. And it's it's kind of comical if someone witnesses it. Everybody goes through it, and then usually those days when I get home, I'm really tired, and I probably don't want to do a run or do a workout or go to kickboxing. But by the end of it, it's sometimes my best training day of the week is when I'm frustrated or exhausted or just don't want to do it.
Oh, that's interesting.
I've learned slowly, very slowly, to take my frustration and put it elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have trouble controlling my anger and my words, so now I put it into my running and my kickboxing.
That's very cool. Now, do you ever have days when you just don't feel like kickboxing or exercising or running or
Oh,
whatever,
yes.
whatever? So, what do you do then?
It just happens to be a lot of times those days are when someone else will message me that I haven't maybe talked to for a couple of days, and they'll be like, guess what I did? I went for a run today, or I went for a hike, or I did this or that. And I'm like, man, they've been struggling too, and they're able to get out there, so I can't let them be by themselves. I gotta do it too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was actually I think it was Tuesday this week, my younger cousin who lives in Fredericton, she messaged me and she's like, I just did my fastest mile, even though I felt like crud all day. And she's been training for something else that's really important to her. I can't say yet because it's kind of a surprise. She took and did her fastest mile that day. And then I was like, well, I'm having a slow day. I don't really want to run, but I need to. So since she did it, I did it. And I went and did a really pretty quick 5K that night when I got home on a hilly course.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
wow, yeah, that's really nice.
I
Yeah,
bet it felt great.
it was funny because the next day on Wednesday, my Facebook memories popped up saying I did a 5K in Quispam back in 2017 on that day. And that 5K was on like trail and pavement.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it in like 33 minutes, I think. And it would have been roughly like same kind of hills and whatnot. And that on Tuesday night, I did a 5K in 27 minutes. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
Wow.
it makes you feel good. It makes you
yeah,
feel really good.
that's a lot of time taken off. 6 minutes is a lot in the running world in
Yes,
5K.
it is, especially on short distance.
If you're taking 6 minutes off your times, that's very impressive. Not everybody can do that either.
You really have to work for it. It doesn't just come easily, does it?
No, you can't fake that speed. You just can't do it.
You're probably doing more than running. I'll bet you're doing, lunges and a lot of other cross training. Are you?
For cross training,
Yeah, for cross training.
I'm mainly just doing kickboxing as my cross
Mm-hmm.
training right now.
Okay.
I haven't got back to the weight gym yet because just schedule doesn't line up with the fact that I have to schedule my time at the gym.
I've noticed that too. That's why I'm not back either.
Yeah, I just don't see. I can't fit it in my schedule. I can't guarantee them if I book a session for 6 o'clock, I might not be able to get there till 6:30. So there's half an hour gone out of my hour that you're allowed.
I hear ya.
It's not worth the money and the time if I gotta do it that way.
Now, we were speaking with Angèle Bastarache here a week or two ago, and she was saying, and I don't know if you heard it or not, but she was saying that she does the kickboxing as her cardio. She uses that to improve her cardio. So I know it works.
It does. It definitely does. if you're training for both, like your cardio from running will help improve your kickboxing, and your kickboxing will help improve your cardio. There's no doubt about it at all.
We'll have to give it a try, won't we, John?
Yes, I told you this last
Oh,
time.
I don't know about
I
that.
I'd love to try it, and there is a place here in Moncton. I looked it up, and there is at least one place, and you can go and try it out, and see if you like it before you commit by signing up for it. So
Yeah.
I am going to do that. I'm just waiting for my Achilles to be a little bit better before I start doing something like that.
Yes, we need you fully healed. Thank
I
you.
do need to be fully healed, and I'm not going to risk that by going out
Yes.
kickboxing. But I'm definitely going to be doing it when I'm 100%.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Diane and I have noticed a certain pattern lately, and some of our guests, we've talked about this with other guests as they've come on, and we've discussed it. That pattern seems to be that many motivated people have a great training partner or partners. Now, I know you have your sisters that you train with as well.
Yep.
How important are these training partner or partners to you, and how important do you think you are to them?
I hope I am important to them in some way or other. We support each other so much, and I love to see them out doing great things. So I'm hoping that I'm on the important list for them. But
Oh, I'm sure you are.
I can't exactly speak for them, so I hope they will agree with me on that one. For me to have them around, like for instance with the sisters, like you talked about, John, they mean a lot to me. Each one of them is their unique personalities, and none of us are exactly the same. So their different vibes help you out in different situations. Sasha, for instance, her and I call each other the teenagers of the group because we're the ones that probably will get in trouble before the other two.
No, come on, no.
No, there's a possibility, yeah. And so there's that, and then Sue and Summer are like, well, Sue's a teacher. Well, Summer's a teacher as well for their jobs. So they're like the adults and the mothers of the group, and they try to keep us in line. And Summer's very well organized, so she was always making sure we are on par with like where we're going, what we're doing, and all that. While Sasha and I were just like, yeah, let's fly by the seat of our pants. Let's go.
Right.
But they're very important to me to keep going because on days last year during the summer, Thursdays was the days we met for speed training together. And if I was exhausted that day and didn't want to go, they would end up messaging me or calling me and saying, come on, you're meeting us at the track, let's go. And I'd show up, like I'd be there.
Yeah, you'd have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't let them down.
No, I can't let them down.
They're very important to you, and you've talked about that a little bit. And I really think that what we were talking about earlier, we should do one of these times is you should get the sisters on, and we should have you around a laptop, and we'll just ask questions to every one of you. We'll just have a little chit chat and record it and see how it turns out. I'm sure it'll be great.
I would love that.
I think that would be great if we could just figure out the logistics of getting everybody together at the same time. I think it's awesome.
Yes, I agree. But if we can plan ahead of time, I'm sure it won't be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
We will set something up. Our people will talk to your people.
Sounds good to me, John. Wait a second. Did you hire agents now or something?
I think I'm the agent. I'm the agent.
If it wasn't for Diane, I'd be like doing this, recording it, and no one would listen to it. So there you go.
I'm pretty sure they would, John.
I think, yes, I know they would. I just want to comment that I have a great training partner, and he's my kind of crazy. And all last winter when I was training, and even the winter before, a lot of my training runs would be on a Friday night because that is when it fits my schedule the best.
Yeah.
And he'd be right there beside me in the freezing rain, in the slush, in the wind and the rain, and we'd be doing specific speed workouts. And there are so many times when I would have just thrown in the towel and said, screw this, I'm not doing this tonight. But because he was there with me, we would go out and we would have such a ball with it. And every time before the run, I would say, this is going to suck so bad. And then by the end of it,
It did.
it did. It sucked. It sucked so bad. I'm not going to lie. Really and truly. But that became a joke with us, that we just knew that how bad it was going to be by how many times I said, this is going to suck so bad.
Well, if you can't have some fun with reality, I mean, what is the point, right?
Exactly.
You gotta suck it up, Buttercup, and get out there and
Get
do
out
what
there
you
and
gotta
do it.
do and enjoy it a little bit.
And having a training partner there with me made me finish the workout, and just do it instead of just saying, no, I'll wait until tomorrow when the weather's better, because the weather's not going to be better the next day in February,
That's right.
right?
No.
No.